Hi, Nicole Noll-Williams here. I'm the President and CEO for the Capital Region Airport Authority. And we actually own and operate the Capital Region International Airport and based in Jewett, as well as the only mid-Michigan port of entry into the state of Michigan. So what that provides is international opportunities for us to see growth both on passenger development as well as cargo development. So we've had a fantastic year. I've been back for a year, returning to the airport with over 26 years of experience in the industry. And it's been exciting to return back to the airport and see the energy and the synergy really from this region on growth and opportunities. And so some of the things that we're working on is diversifying revenue streams that we have at the airport. For one of the key things, of course, is passenger travel. How do we grow and develop both domestic and international travel, as well as looking at opportunities for cargo growth, as well as land development that we have at the airport. So we're looking forward to working with our community and region, and we can't thank our partners enough throughout this area, from the city of Lansing to Ingham County, and all of those that are traveling in and out of Lansing. They're choosing to fly Lansing. They're supporting the services that we have here, and that's key for growth and opportunities for new destinations, new frequencies, and new opportunities for this market and this region to grow.
Mid-Michigan Business Travel Coalition was formed to help business community understand the economic impact of flying out of Lansing. It was formed for business leaders to try to encourage their members and their organization staff to use Lansing as your first choice. We really appreciate the businesses that have adopted a policy that allow their employees to make certain that they fly Lansing and they have a bogey if it's within a certain amount. That makes a tremendous amount of difference. And so the Mid-Michigan Business Travel Coalition is a voice of business leaders who are elevating the economic impact, the results of not having an airport versus having an airport with various opportunities to fly in different hubs, to having that right here in our own community. We have to be that voice. We have to lift that up. You know, we wake up one day and we no longer have an airport. It's going to be too late to lift your voice then. So this Mid-Michigan Business Travel Coalition is sort of the ambassadors to the community that helps people understand the value and the economic impact of flying Lansing.
Well, I think it's from the ability they have and the land that they have there and the infrastructure that they have and the ability to kind of think about that supply chain aspect and what types of businesses have a good fit for where the airport is and the ability to locate there. I mean, you've got companies like Niawave that have, they've located a manufacturing facility there. I think they're looking at new opportunities as well with what now they continue to invest in the region. Again, UPS and using that as a center of their logistics hub. And so what are those other types of businesses that provide a good fit there? And there's the infrastructure that's in place right now and continuing to try and build that out to attract new investment.
From the visitors' perspective, we work with all the visitors that come to town every year, and from their perspective, we hear constantly about the importance of a thriving and dynamic airport.
Well, it's got different impacts. It's got economic impact when you've got people that fly in. You've got dollars they're going to spend in the area. It's got economic impact because it allows us to do different things with business. We've got property at the airport. People can fly in and out. It's got social impacts. You know, it's just easier to fly if you don't have to drive to Detroit or Grand Rapids. It's easier. So all of these things make it, again, an asset for our city. We've actually done studies on the economic impacts, and they're significant within Lansing and within the greater community.
Yeah, the airport for Farm Bureau Insurance is certainly important with our corporate headquarters being right here. The region itself, a lot of our employees live in this region. They use the airport for both personal and business reasons. It's important that they can get back to their families quickly after any travel that they do. And it's really important for the region to be robust and grow with everything the Lansing area has to offer, whether it's government, the university we have in town, and so many businesses that are thriving and want to continue to thrive.
Well, I think again, you're looking at how does gasoline contribute to how fast your car goes. The higher grade you have, the faster your car can go and the more efficient it runs. And I think that's what we're talking about here, that the better this airport performs, the better the business community that relies on it performs as well. And that is, by the way, a chicken and an egg, because we've got to use that airport so that it can heighten its ability to facilitate our needs in the business community.
We are landing global businesses from all over the world. I mean, our region, LEAP, is really setting a historic pace right now for landing new business. Our region has not been very good at that over the last century, last decades. We're really good at it right now. There's genuine, real, tangible growth. Population, businesses, type of business, advanced manufacturing, big jobs, big salaries for those jobs. But all of that is not going to be sustainable without having the important assets in place, infrastructure, like public transportation, like a university, like an airport. The airport is crucial to the continued success of us landing big companies and growing jobs and investment here.
Again, buying local is so important to our local economy, and really keeping in mind the opportunity cost when we export ourselves to other communities to seek air service. At this point in time, it is pivotal that we buy local, and in order to attract and retain air service, we need to fill those seats at Lansing Airport. And when factored into travel cost and the cost of parking or other ancillary costs that go into the cost of travel, Lansing is a very competitive and attractive airport to use.
Well, there's a number of impacts it has actual. One is it gives accessibility to all parts of the country. Now, be that direct to Washington, D.C., direct to Chicago, or a layover in Detroit to catch that spoke and go somewhere else. It's pretty instantaneous access to anywhere in the country. So this means a lot to not just travelers, not just leisure travelers, but certainly the business people where time is of the essence. They got to get in, get a job done, and get back. And that's really one of the vital aspects of this airport.
When I travel out of Lansing Capital City Airport, convenience comes to mind, and the experience has been amazing. You can get to the airport, park, you can get through TSA in a matter of minutes. And coming back is the same way. Time is so important for people these days to spend time with family, to get back home. And Lansing Capital City Airport, I don't think anything can match the experience you get in terms of the time you're going to have to put in before you get on that relaxing plane.
If you're interviewing for a job opportunity at Sparrow Hospital and you are a premier cardiac surgeon and you come here and you can't get here easily, then that's already a strike against this community and they haven't even walked through the door. So for us to have that presence, to have that open opportunity to welcome all through our own airport, through an airport that offers great service, that's what would affect all businesses here in the community.
Investing in the success of Flying Lansing right now at this point in time is so important to the success of the airport. If you want to see more flights coming to and from the Lansing Airport, we have got to utilize those flights. Where we are at right now, this is a nationwide problem. Airlines are facing an extreme shortage of pilots, and they are determining their routes and the future routes based on their availability of not only aircraft, but the crew to fly those aircraft. With mandatory retirement age for pilots and a growing baby booming population, that is really exacerbating the shortage of pilots that we have. And an airport like Lansing that generally serves or is served by regional carriers is disproportionately impacted because a number of those pilots are going to go support mainline operations on larger jets, and the regional carriers and the regional airports like Lansing are going to be impacted more than others.
Well, the ease of use, especially, being able to drive in, to park, to be able to take your luggage and walk right into the airport without having to take a bus from a parking garage. And it's just very easy. It's easy to get through security. It's easy to get up to the different gates. It's just a very easy airport to fly in and out of. And when you're traveling, whether you're traveling for business or you're traveling with your family, you want to get in and out of the airport as easy as possible. It's got amenities, so if you get in there and you got to wait a little while, it's got the brew port, which is great. So it's got options to sit, to eat, to use the Wi-Fi and other things for business travelers, or again, if you're with a family and you want your kids on the phones or whatever. So it's just very easy to use, and it's user-friendly.
You know what I think you've got right now? You've got medical device and medical isotope companies that are there, and obviously the proximity to the airport and time sensitivity for those isotopes are critically important. You've got logistics companies such as UPS that are utilizing our airport as their hub for the state right now, right? So products and cargo kind of coming in and then being dispersed and delivered throughout the state. So from a logistics and supply chain standpoint, the airport really has the ability to be this multimodal as well when you start thinking about rail service as well that runs right through the airport too.
Well, the first thing is people don't realize what an economic driver the airport is. I mean, I can tell you of 3 companies minimum who would move out of here as soon as they possibly can without that airport being close. So it is a vital part of the infrastructure. Growth is essential the same way growth of your community is. And you will find closely assimilated is the growth of the airport and the economic growth of our community.
So the Capital Region International Airport has over 700 employees that are impacted because of our airport. So when you think of economic impact, we're basically running multiple small businesses right from the airport. So it's making sure that this community region supports those carriers like Delta, American, our car rental companies. All of them are running small businesses right here from Lansing. And if they see a return on their investment, they're going to continue to grow and thrive. And so that's why we're asking folks to think of Lansing first.
Well, Lansing is our capital city, and as I said, it's our headquarters here. It's very important for the area to continue to thrive, and transportation is part of that. Whether it's getting around town or throughout the state or getting around the world, it's a quality of life we all get to enjoy when we can have people visit here and come here, and we can get out ourselves. You need that. We need it to continue to grow our businesses, not just in the state, but really globally.
Well, as a frequent Lansing flyer, I would say from my personal experience, it's just the ease of use of that airport. It's smaller, which makes it a really easy in, easy out, easy to get through security, but also just knowing that I'm supporting our community, that I can go up to the gate and check in and I know the person, that I can go in other areas and know that my presence there is supporting jobs here and creating that dynamic economic driver for our region.
We have several biotech manufacturers here in the Lansing area, and they're growing, and a lot of the things that they're shipping are time sensitive. So for them to be able to use an airport here in Lansing, it is crucial.
Well, the access out of a capital city and the people coming in and out doing business, whether it's doing business with state government or the university or with the insurance, financial services, all the other sectors we have here, again, I think that ability to be able to get into a capital city is so critically important. I always say, and I don't know that this is where it will go, but imagine trying to do business in a capital city without a passenger or commercial airport. I think it would be very challenging, and I think it would really be an eye-opener for a lot of people if that were the case. And so again, from an economic development standpoint, being able to get people, products, goods, services, all of those types of things anywhere throughout the country and throughout the world is so critically important.
Well, investing now is really where we're at this tipping point. After the pandemic, we're all still trying to figure out how we're traveling, how we're moving around the globe. And so at the Convention and Visitors Bureau, we try to navigate that and know that people are traveling different. People are experiencing their vacations or their business trips differently. And it's been a long time for them to come back. So if we don't address people's needs right now, when they're still adjusting and figuring out what's the next steps for them, then we've missed an opportunity and have a big gap that we might not be able to overcome. And then that affects us all in the future.
I think it's important that the airport continues to thrive simply because the region is becoming more diversified. We have interesting, exciting businesses that are coming to this area. And in order to do that, we want talent to be able to get here, to come here, hopefully stay here, and have this area grow. And to do that, it means you have to have a strong, robust airport.
As goes the airport, goes Lansing and the Mid-Michigan community, quite frankly. I remember being on the Retained General Motors task force, and they were not looking at any communities that did not have airport service within 7 to 10 minutes of their location. So if we want to grow our economy, if we want to grow our community, if we want to grow jobs, schools, we need to make certain that we grow our airport.
Oh, the airport is everything, in my opinion. We have so many people coming in and out just doing business with our local manufacturers that we need to keep it open, running, and thriving.
Yeah, again, tremendously, and obviously depends on the business, but whether it's utilizing the cargo side, the industrial side of the airport and what it's doing, or transferring people professionally, business-wise, who are coming in for meetings or flying somewhere else for a meeting. It's critical to so many local businesses.
Well, our region is growing, and from my perspective, manufacturing is growing, and the manufacturers want to be able to get on these flights and get where they need to go quickly. And then they also want to be able to have visitors from all over the globe come in and visit them at their manufacturing facilities.
People don't realize that. They think it's just a place to fly in and out of. What kind of impact does the local airport have on the community? People don't realize that. They think it's just a place to fly in and out of, and it's convenience, right? But look at the number of jobs that are created, the number of hotel rooms, how many nights people stay at a hotel, people who come to visit, how many conferences and conventions can come if the airport is right here.
Well, we've been on the coalition for quite a few years now. It's important for us, certainly, to see the business community thrive. I think it's important for every business to consider what that means to have the airport available for your employees, for potential clients, and really to be able to do commerce. Goods and services are going to come through that airport, and it'd be great to see all the business community come around this effort.
Well, the airport's an asset to our city. We certainly have a lot of commerce that goes to the airport. We have a lot of people that fly through the airport. Having an airport it shows the power, the strength of our city, the vibrancy of our city. And we want to talk about that everywhere we go. I've been to conferences as recently as last month where I talk with other communities about our airports within our cities. And it's just a tremendous advantage to be able to have people coming through, to be able to have that kind of travel, whether you're a business person who just needs to fly in and fly out, whether you're residential or you want to go to a smaller airport because you don't want to deal with the lines and security and other things of a big airport. So it's an anchor for our city, and it's tremendous for our city and region.
For our economy here, not only on the government side, in terms of public workers and, travel to and from Washington, D.C., but from a legitimacy standpoint for our community, for Lansing, as we compete with other regions, both within Michigan and then other capital cities throughout our region, Midwest region, the Columbus, Madisons of the world, to have a international airport that we have here at our hub, it's just absolutely critical.
You look at the businesses at the airport that have just blossomed in the last couple of years, whether it's a restaurant business, whether it's a kiosk or a fast food business or whatever that business might be. There's the vendors that are inside there. Look at what's happened even with Amazon and the trucks. Having an airport there contribute. How many people have gotten jobs now as a result of that? How many truck drivers have been hired or employed as a result of that? How many homes have they purchased? How many cars have they purchased? Because now they have a job in Lansing as a result of what's happened at the airport. So I just ask that people not just look at the airport as a place to fly in and out of, but look at it as the economic driver for the community that it really is and has proven to be over and over again. And if we lose it, it will be devastating.
There are small conferences, large conferences, all in between that we really do require the opportunity for good quality air service, because we won't bring those here otherwise. They bring in millions of dollars to this community, and if we're not able to host them simply because of the fact that we don't have the proper air service, then we're out of the game already.
When I fly Lansing, it's just a different feel than going through one of the big airports. Not just the obvious things in terms of parking convenience and things like that, but quite honestly, in my opinion, just it just feels like a comfortable small town airport. The staff is so friendly, the TSA agents are great. I've had great experiences there. And it's just to have that in our backyard is just so much more convenient. And it even though things are different, it still reminds me of going to pick my dad up from the airport, when I was a little kid. So
yeah, well, you know what? Flying out of Lansing, it's everything that they say, and you hear it in the marketing campaign. I mean, it is easy, it is convenient. there is less congestion, there is less lines, and so it's an amazingly easy process. It's a rewarding process, and being able to support the airport, I think, is critically important.
This community welcomes 5.3 million visitors annually, and so for us to have the best opportunities for them to arrive in our community, depart from our community, but also enjoy our community, then that's important for us as an organization and for us as a community.
There's also the business sector that you can go to, the business room, and actually conduct business. So you're not wasting time again, or you're getting that meal, which otherwise you might not have a chance to do.
So the Capital Region International Airport, being based right here in the state's capital, home of Michigan State University, and to so many insurance companies and manufacturers in this region, it's beneficial for us to come together and support those services that we have within our region, whether it comes to the small business downtown, to events and activities on campus, to supporting the nonstop services and services that provide that connectivity to get you all over the world, both domestic and internationally. And it's that one key piece within their central area of the state of Michigan is supporting that big need between the state's capital to the nation's capital. So we're excited that we've got that partnership with American Airlines, providing that nonstop service to Washington, D.C. daily, to make that connection easy for our partners that are flying back and forth on a regular basis, from the lobbyists, from the corporations, to the politicians. And it's one of those key drivers that's necessary for future growth, really to have as a tool for economic development and opportunities for growth in other areas.
Fly Lansing is important to all of us, not just for our own personal travel, but for the manufacturers and the other businesses that are coming in and out doing business every day.
This airport is really critical to our future economic growth, and obviously that's the core mission of LEAP. So we talk the talk and walk the walk right here at LEAP. We have a policy in place where if you can get a ticket at our Lansing Airport within $150 of where else it might have cost us, then we're going to commit and use that Lansing Airport for our business travel. And we think that everyone should have a policy like that. Look, we all know you have to be flexible, and sometimes you just can't use the airport. But if you maybe have a policy like ours, $150 is a limit. And we find that almost all cases then we can use the Lansing Airport with that kind of policy in place. We encourage everybody to adopt that kind of policy. The more we use the airport, the more likely it's going to be here and supporting our economic growth efforts of the future.
The airport's it's a key piece of that. It's a key piece of how we grow Lansing. It's a key piece of making sure that people want to live here, can live here, want to work here, want to do business here. The airport is one of the important pieces of all of that as we look throughout our entire city.
Well, I think that first and foremost, the ability to move people and goods anywhere in the world right now is so critically important, and it's only going to continue to be important. And so I think when you look at having an airport that is vibrant, that's growing, that's contributing to the economy the way that Capital Region International Airport is, it's significant for us. I think it's significant for us to what and how we attract business. I think that there are so many opportunities around the logistics side and the cargo side. So I think that there are just an abundance of opportunities to what and how the airport continues to be at the center of a lot of our economic development activities.
Yeah, the convenience of flying from Lansing is this is your hometown airport. This is an easy parking right next to the airport terminal, to ease of getting through TSA and upstairs at the gate, and hopefully giving yourself a little bit of time to enjoy our Market 24/7 as well as the Brewport that we have there and available before you leave for your flight. And this is all about convenience of getting people in and out with at ease and without that drive to a neighboring airport, without that additional cost for parking that you would experience at some of those other airports as well.
It's so important to join the Mid-Michigan Business Travel Coalition, because when our leaders, Nicole Noll-Williams and others, go and talk to airlines, they can say we have 400, 500, 4,000 people who are part of this coalition, and they are committed to this airport. That gives her and gives us leverage to get more business into Lansing and to retain the business that we have. You know, it doesn't cost an arm and a leg to become a member of that, but it adds that kind of support. It's sort of like a reference letter. You know, when you go for a job and you don't have anybody who gives you a reference, You know, that doesn't look good, but when you've got a whole business community that's referring, saying, yes, we want Mid-Michigan Business Travel Coalition supports Lansing and Flying Lansing, that makes a difference.
Yeah, the impact of the pandemic to small and mid-sized airports has been significant, and we are not alone. There's multiple communities that are all being challenged today, as well as airlines with a lack of pilots in their system. So as decisions need to be made pertaining to air service and new destinations coming into a market or additional frequencies, it all goes back to a community using the current services for opportunities for growth, for destinations, connections, convenience, more competitive fares. So I ask this community in this region to fly Lansing first.
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 We all need to fly Lansing first.